Welcome to the class. Today let's discuss the topic linear motion. Linear motion describes motion along a straight line. We have got different types of motions. We can have motion around a circular path. So if this is a circular path, a motion along this path, this one is now called angular because the object moving keeps on changing the direction at a certain angle. So this one would bring us angular motion. But linear motion describes motion along a straight line, a straight path. Motion along a straight path, this one is now linear motion. If you have a motion moving in that side, we call it linear motion, but if it's along this side, we call it angular motion. So I have got terms that associate with motion. The first term is called distance. What is distance? Distance is the distance between 2 points. So if you have got a point A here and another point B here, so the distance between the space between this one is what we call the distance between these 2 points. Otherwise, it's called length, but it's just the parametric distance between 2 points called this is the dimension of length between 2 points called distance. Another term that is associated with distance is speed. Speed. What is speed? Speed is the rate at which a body is moving to cover a distance. So if a body moves from point A to point B in 2 minutes, so the speed will be the distance, total distance covered, all over the total time taken to cover it. Time taken to cover that distance. So this speed is distance all over time taken. And we know that distance is measured in meters, that is the SI unit, and the time is measured in seconds. So this SI unit of speed is meters per second. Meters per second. We can have other multiple units for measuring speed. That one can be kilometer per hour. But these are just submetrics of the meters per second. So the SI unit is meters per second, but hectometers per minute, those are just multiples of the SI unit. So the first term that we associate with linear motion is speed. Another term here is called velocity. What is velocity? Velocity is more or less the same as speed, but a little bit different. For example, if you have got a body moving from point A to point B to point C, it moves along this direction to this point. This body moving would rather move straight from A to C, but it opts to move from A to B then to C. So the distance moved from here to B to C, this is called the total distance covered. So total distance covered. Total distance covered. But if you compare the vectorial change in position, it just moved from A to C. We assume the B. So the distance from A to C is now called displacement. 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 So what is displacement? Displacement. So displacement is the distance between 2 points in a specific direction. So displacement, the difference between displacement and distance is that distance does not have direction. So you can move from here to here, that's the total distance. But displacement is having direction. So we say displacement is a vector quantity, while distance is a scalar non-vector quantity because it does not have direction. But they both have magnitude, but displacement has got a specific direction. So velocity is given as displacement over time taken. Displacement over time taken. Displacement over time taken. Let's have an example where we solve a question involving speed and velocity. Let's solve one. So we have got a point A B, C, such that here we have got, let's have it in this format, A, B, C, in that order. Such that we have got here at angle of 90 degrees, we have got this point 40 meters, and this point we have got as 30 meters. So you are told that a body moved from point A to point C via point B in 5 seconds. Determine. So you are told to determine. The first point you are told to determine A, the total distance covered. Distance covered. B, the displacement. C, speed. And D, the velocity. So, first thing first, know that this body moved from A to B, then joined C. So the total distance covered will be total distance will be given as from A to B, then from B to C. And from A to B, we've been given that it is 30 meters, and from B to C is 40 meters. So you add 40 meters. So the total displacement shall be 70 meters. Then the displacement. The displacement is actually that you start at point A, then you move to C in towards that direction, towards a specific direction. So the displacement shall be actually the hypotenuse. So how do you get the displacement? The displacement shall be given as the root of 30 squared plus 40 squared under root. And this one is actually the root of 2,500, giving us 50 meters. So actually the displacement is now 50 meters. Then the next question you are told there to get is the speed. To get the speed. Speed we are defined to be the total distance over time taken. So this body had moved, the total distance is from here to here. That is, we found to be 70 meters. And the time taken, we are told that it moved in 5 seconds. So we divide by 5 seconds. So this one's give us 50 goes into 70 14 times. So it is 14 meters per second. It can be written this way, or you can write it in this format as 14 meters per second. Though this one is mostly used in mathematics, but in sciences we use 14 meters per second. The next one is the speed, the velocity, velocity. Velocity is giving us displacement over time. And our displacement we have found to be 50 meters. You divide by time, which is 5 seconds. So you get our velocity to be 10 meters per second as our displacement. So we've seen the first 3 terms that associate with the linear motion, that's distance, speed, and velocity. So let's look at a different thing called the average velocity. Then we look at the acceleration. Then we derive the laws of motion. So, for example, we have a body moving from point A to point, it moves with a certain speed u. Then upon reaching this point, it changes speed to a certain speed v. So a body starts its motion from an initial velocity u meters per second. Then after some times t, it now moves with a new velocity v meters per second. So average velocity is given as initial velocity plus final velocity divided by 2. So average velocity, we can write average velocity as is equal to initial velocity we've denoted with u and final velocity we've denoted with v over 2. That one gives us what we call the average velocity. You sum the velocity of the body moving, then you divide by 2. Then the next term is what we call now acceleration. Acceleration. Acceleration is defined as, this is the rate of change in velocity with the time. So from this definition we can get that acceleration, let's use symbol A to define acceleration, is given as change in velocity over change in time. Change in velocity over change in time, which can be noted as dv over dt. Change in velocity over change in time. Okay, let's proceed. We had defined that if a body starts from initial point with initial velocity u, and after some time t, it now moves with a final velocity v, acceleration shall be given as a is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity over time taken for it to change from u to v. So a shall be given as v minus u over t. So that one is what gives us the acceleration. So let's do an example that a body starts from rest and after time 10 seconds it moves with a speed of 50 meters per second. Determine the acceleration of the body. Determine the acceleration of that body. This body starts from rest. When it starts from rest, at rest point the body is not moving, meaning that initial velocity. It means that the initial velocity, and we have denoted initial velocity with u, is equal to 0. And our final velocity, which we are denoted with v, is now 50 meters per second. And it happens to be moving at 50 meters per second after time which is 10 seconds. So we are told to get the acceleration. We have defined that a is equal to v minus u over t. So this one gives us 50 minus 0, this is in meters per second, over time which is 10 seconds. This one gives us 50 meters per second over 10 seconds. That cancels in this order and we get 5 meters per second squared. The power of 7 now is because we divide with another second. So from there we can also see that the unit, SI unit of acceleration, SI unit of acceleration is meters per second squared. Meters per second squared. So that one is an example on acceleration. Then somebody by the name Newton studied the relationship with these motions and the terms and came up with what we call the laws of motion, or what we call the Newton law of motion. So Newton law of motions, Newton's laws of motion. Newton laws of motions are derived. First we started from the equation of acceleration, and we have defined that acceleration A is given as final velocity minus initial velocity over time taken. So we can make it a straight line equation by saying that acceleration times time is given as velocity, final velocity minus initial velocity. We can make V the subject of the formula, say that V is equal to U plus AT. So this is what we call the first equation, or the first law of motion. Newton's first law of motion. That's very interesting. Then again, we know that distance, which we denote with S, or displacement, we denote with S, is given by average speed multiplied by time taken. Average speed multiplied by the time taken. And average speed we had found to be, so S is given by average speed is V plus U over 2, that is our average speed, and you multiply by time. Average speed multiplied by V over time, and you find that S is now equal to V over 2 plus U over 2, everything multiplied by T. We expand it further and find that S is giving us V over 2T plus U over 2T. But from equation 1, we found that V is equal to A, U plus AT. V is equal to U plus AT. So we can replace V in this equation with the value which we have found in equation 1. So we'll find that S is equal to V, which is U plus AT. That is this part. Then you multiply with another T such that VT, everything divided by 2, plus U over 2T. So you can expand this bracket and get that S is equal to U over 2 multiplied by this T, U over 2T, plus AT, if you multiply by this T, it will be T squared over 2 plus U over 2T. Such that this term and this term are the same. You can collect them. Half of UT plus half of UT, that one will give you S is equal to UT. Half and half makes one full. Then plus a half of AT squared. So this one is what we call our second law of motion. That is what we call the Newton second law of motion. So we have second law and first law as V is equal to AT. The first one we've made the velocity the subject. The second one we've made the displacement the subject. So in the second one, we want to use equation 1 and substitute in equation 2. So from equation 1, or the first law of motion, which says that V is equal to U plus AT. let's make t the subject. It shall be v minus u is equal to at, implying that t is equal to v minus u over a. So you take the value of t here, replace in the second equation. Take the value of t and replace in the second equation. If you take the value of t and replace in the second equation, it will be, the second equation is s is equal to ut plus a half at squared. And we found that t is equal to v minus u over a. So you replace, it shall be s is equal to u into v minus u over a. That is the value of t, plus a half into a into v minus u over a squared, that is t squared. So you expand the brackets step by step. So this one shall be u v, expanding here, minus u squared, everything over a is equal to s, plus half into a. So first, if you square this bracket, a shall be a squared in that format. If we expand this bracket, that is v minus u multiplied by v minus u, you expand this one binomially such that it becomes v squared. This times this will be minus uv. This times this will be minus uv again. This times this will be plus u squared, such that it forms v squared minus 2uv plus u squared. So that is the expansion of the upper bracket. That one shall be v squared minus 2uv plus u squared. You close the bracket such that, so this is a half, such that this a cancels with the square in that format. Then you remain with s is equal to uv minus u squared plus v squared minus 2uv plus u squared over 2a, and this one was over a. So you can eliminate the denominator by multiplying both sides. You multiply both sides by 2a. If you multiply both sides by 2a, this side will be 2as is equal to, this side will be 2 into uv minus u squared, because a and a cancels. Then this side will be plus v squared minus 2uv plus u squared. In that format, you can expand and collect the like terms. This side will be 2as is equal to 2uv minus 2u squared plus v squared minus 2u squared plus u squared. So you can collect the like terms. This is 2uv in that format, such that if you collect the like terms, 2uv and 2uv cancels out. Then you end up with 2as is equal to v squared. You can start with v squared. Here we have got negative 2u squared, and this is u squared. So if you sum this and this, you end up with minus u squared. So if you make v squared the subject, you'll end up with v squared is equal to, if negative u squared crosses, it becomes u squared, it becomes positive, plus 2as. So this is our third law of motion. So we've been able to derive all the Newton's laws of motion, and this one is mostly applied and this one is mostly asked. So be very keen on how to derive it. From the first equation you drive up to the third equation. So our next video we shall learn the applications of the laws of motion and how they apply in real kinematics of mechanics. Thank you.